Hello and welcome to a Saturday edition of The Box Seat in pretty wintry conditions here at Ascot. It is for Saturday, the 8th of May, and the track condition is probably going to be the talking point here. As at time of recording, it's a soft 7, no rain around forecast for Friday or Thursday afternoon, so hopefully by the time we get to the races on Saturday it's a soft 6, but definitely going to be a wait and see scenario with the official track condition. But the rail is at 9 metres and Saturday's forecast is cool but sunny, 22 degrees. Race number 1 is the Morley Growers Market Handicap at 1800 metres, and we go back to last weekend and watch the impressive victory of Karanis.
Dashes to the lead from Uncle Lino. Chief Archer, though, is in pursuit. Karanis is the leader, 250 from home. A length and a half to Chief Archer, San Crispino and Uncle Lino. But Karanis is giving plenty. With 100 to run, Karanis clear of Chief Archer. San Crispino from last. Beret is jumping right up out of the ground, but Karanis wins it. Karanis 3/4 over the fast.
He's in white-hot form at the moment for Jared Noski, Karanis, and seems to be a new horse since Keshore Durun, and a 3-kilo Mauritian apprentice has taken over riding duties. He's won 3 of his last 4, but clearly in inferior grade. He's coming from Class 3 racing, from graduation racing, and now up into from a 66 plus up into a 72 plus. So he definitely is thrown in the deep end here, but I do think that he is one of the horses that's at least in the mix. The horse I'm going to focus in on in this race comes from that replay, but it's not Karanis. It's the second horse there, the mare Beret. They both back up off 7 days from the same race, and there's a 2-kilo weight swing in favour of that second horse who was charging home in Beret. She's been getting back in massive fields. She's been hitting the line with full of steam. But I think here, in the small field with only 5 opponents, Lacdal Rumley can sit back on Beret and she can get over the top of them. This looks nice placement, she has no weight, and if she can stay within striking distance of Cockney Crew, I think she can run him down. Number 1, Cockney Crew, clearly the danger for me. A Metro 85 rater, where 3 of his opponents are outside the handicap. He's particularly well in this race, and on paper, it's his to lose. Number 5, No Apology, a noted wet tracker. And number 2, Notorious One, who is notorious for doing things wrong. My numbers in race number 1, 3, 1, 5 and 2. Race number 2, Tab Touch West Speed Platinum Handicap at 1400 metres. We go to the Tab Touch West Speed Autumn Final last weekend and watch the really impressive 4th placing of the maiden Petite FEMME.
Morgs Freeman into the home straight requisition and Image Keeper come together from due west on the rails. Samambo gets through down the outside. Pink and Grey also finishing strongly across the track. 100 to go. Samambo, Pink and Grey. Prize Nemesis is charging down the outside. Pink and Grey. Prize Nemesis. Prize Nemesis. Prize Nemesis has bloused Pink.
She's a complete and utter surprise packet, this mare. She is a 19-start maiden. Never won a race. But she's been racing outside of her grade for so long, and a number of them have been highly impressive. That's a $100,000 feature race, where she was scything her way through the field, ran a very impressive 4th. Maddie Derrick in that replay couldn't claim. She uses her 2-kilo claim on the weekend. 52 kilos and an inside draw. Could this be the day for Petite FEMME? I couldn't bring myself to tip her here against 58 plus opposition, but clearly from that replay, she has to be a winning chance. I sided with number 2, Born to Try. Lindsay Smith's had this mare for around 4 starts. He's given her a freshen up, 2 months between runs, 2000 back to 14, with a little bit of residual fitness, the old stayer running well fresh or sprinting well fresh. I think she's the one to beat here, number 2, Born to Try. Number 1, Fiery Water, who was in the replay we watched and didn't get anywhere near Petite FEMME, meets her 2 kilos worse for being beaten panels, but that was a run that isn't really him. He's better than that, number 1. Number 7, Petite FEMME herself. I couldn't push her any further down than 3rd. And number 3, Aldi Lara, hit and miss horse. Hasn't got within cooey of them his last 6 or 7, but his best is good enough. My numbers in race number 2, 2, 1, 7 and 3. Race number 3, happy 70th Terry Brennan handicap. It is for the 2-year-olds, and we watch the last start replay. The victory of Flying Missile, the 2nd placing effort of Ultimate Command, the 3rd placing effort of A Strape, and the 4th placing of Ain't No Other Man.
On the outside, ain't no other man being put into the race, but it's Ultimate Command who leads at the 200. The favourite is in pursuit, Flying Missile. Flying Missile on the outside of Ultimate Command, and ain't no other man. And behind them is a straight, but Flying Missile gains the ascendancy close to home, and Flying Missile has put Ultimate Command away late in the race, 1 3/4.
Probably the most efficient replay we'll ever get on the box seat, because those horses are all in and amongst my numbers again, and I don't see why that exacta, Flying Missile beating Ultimate Command, won't simply reproduce itself here. This race is over 1,000 metres, Ultimate Command leads, Flying Missile probably sits outside, so the exact same scenario that we saw there in replay, and I think we might get the exact copy, carbon copy and paste of that last start. I think number 2 here, Flying Missile, only conceding 1 kilo to the stablemate Ultimate Command, can sit outside of her and beat her again. I think this is a little filly on the rise, number 2, Flying Missile. From 3, Ultimate Command, clearly with the extra kilo, she's going to give a lot of cheek out in front. Number 4, Written Exceed, an impressive debut plunge horse, 750 into 340. The punters knew he was good and he won very well. And number 1, Ain't No Other Man, gets a nice run in midfield but chasing. My numbers in race number 3, 2, 3, 4 and 1. Race number 4, Amelia Park handicap for the 3-year-olds over 1,200 metres. We're going to watch the first up assignment of CHANTORQUE, where she runs 4th.
Home where it's Acromantula who leads the way from Type 1. Still a length and a half to I See Red, CHANTORQUE. Vedette the Star called upon, but they still have to get to Acromantula. I See Red looming as the immediate threat. Vedette the Star and CHANTORQUE are charging, but on the inside Acromantula gives plenty, and Acromantula.
Nothing wrong with that effort, in my book at least. Acromantula, a very good horse. Vedette the Star, a very impressive filly. So for CHANTORQUE to have missed the start, settled further back than anticipated, first up, no trial, to hit the line as well as she did, she's clearly come back in very good order for Rusty Stewart's small little yard. She has the blinkers on, she has the senior rider on, which means that she has to carry 60.5 kilos, and that is going to be the point of discussion here in this race. She's definitely not a big filly, CHANTORQUE. She's got a lot of really good form on the book here. In fact, when last in work, she's a winner of a listed Placid Arc Stakes. So she should be hard to beat in this, but I'm just going to side with an air of caution. A soft track, 60.5 kilos, it might just weigh her down to an extent. So she is well and truly up the order, but not the on-top selection. I'm going to go with number 3 here, Infanta. First up, ran second behind She's God to You. It's a replay that we used on the Wednesday box seat when we previewed Divine Pair. He was victorious, and I don't see why Fanta from that same form race can't be victorious here. A number of winning chances, but definitely Fanta's in and amongst the selections, and I put him on top in a wide open 3-year-old race, number 3. 1, CHANTORQUE, I'm marking the filly as the danger, and it is purely and simply 60.5 kilos that has me wary. Number 7, She's a Charmer, who on face value was disappointing first up. She went around favourite, she ran 5th beaten 3, but it was a race that was dominated out in front by Sun, so she comes up in grade but drops sharply in weight. And number 4, next best, How's the Serenity? Pretty similar sort of story for her last start. Slowly run race, lots of weight, maybe she's better suited here. My numbers in race number 4, 3, 1, 7 and 4. Race number 5, Events at Ascot handicap over 1,000 metres. The replay we watch contains PANZDOWN, Comes a Time, Drink What You Like and City Circle.
Time and wait for the run. King's Authority, Calzine comes a time to the outside, and back behind them, threading its way through now as they come to the 250 is PANZDOWN. Over on the inside, Shock Result, PANZDOWN. City Circle got the split with it as well, and here on the outside, Drink What You Like. They're going to split it. PANZDOWN does too well. PANZDOWN won from Drink.
From that replay there's no knock on any of those horses. Comes a Time had no luck, 3 wide the trip, no cover. Drink What You Like loomed the winner and couldn't quite get over them late. PANZDOWN was very impressive when he split those gaps and charged through the line, and City Circle ran her typical, honest and consistent race. So I come into this with thinking there's not a whole lot between those horses from the replay. But then you see the riding engagements, and it's a 2 kilo claim that they've taken off Drink What You Like, which means they get a 4 kilo weight swing on PANZDOWN. That's going to be enough for me to tip her way and suggest that she can turn the tables here. She's drawn a nice gate, she can track up the speed, she could lead if Lucky Rumley wanted to. So they'll wait and see, they'll assess the track, I'm sure, and Adam Durant's yard are firing very well at the moment. So for me, I think Drink What You Like with the claim can turn the tables. It's 5 from 1. PANZDOWN the obvious danger. The deserving favourite, 60 kilos though, he's starting to get up in the weights. Number 3, City Circle, backed up off 7 days last week, backs up off 7 days this week. So it's her third run in a fortnight, but she seems to love the quick backup. Number 9, next best, I threw in the grey, Jag the Joker, a noted wet tracker who ran well last week at Northam. My numbers in race number 5, 5, 1, 3 and 9. Race number 6, Crown Perth Handicap over 1200 metres. Watch the first up run without a trial of MOSCHARD in a 72 plus.
At the top of the straight and the widest of the MOSCHARD. Echo Effect led the way. Parnham lets Miss Conteki down. Nero Dio is trying to go with Miss Conteki, but she's got a kick on her, but so's MOSCHARD. MOSCHARD's finishing powerfully on the outside. Miss Conteki, she's responding to the vigour of Parnham. MOSCHARD won't get to Miss Conteki. There's another one for the mare. Miss Conteki goes home.
Form really does speak for itself out of that run. Second behind Miss Conteki, the third horse Nero Dio. Miss Conteki and Nero Dio at their next start ran the Quinella in a 78 plus, whereas this horse that split the MOSCHARD drops from a 72 back into a 66. So he's very hard to beat in this. He's drawn a wide gate, but he gets back anyway. He has weight, but he has Brad Rawiller. So no matter where you look to knock him, there are factors that do offset it. So he's a definite top 2 chance for me here, MOSCHARD. But I did go with the lightly weighted mare here in Angelic Miss. Simon Miller's producing a lot of these progressive mares at the moment, like Miss Conteki there from the replay. She has 7 kilos on the top weight MOSCHARD, and on a wet track that probably is enough to be able to beat the classier opponent here. Number 9 from me, she might have only won 2 races, but she is lightly raced and she is progressive. Her first up run was excellent in a race that they were definitely scarping along in the early and middle stages. Number 9 for me in Angelic Miss. Number 1, MOSCHARD, our replay horse. If he gets the right run 3 deep with cover, then he can get over them late. Number 11, the 3-year-old filly and Island Charm, who gets in on the minimum after carrying the top weight in an all-age class race in a midweeker. And number 5, in Megazone. I find him a little bit hard to catch, but his first up run when last in work behind Caracapo was a ripper. My numbers in race number 6, 9, 1, 11 and 5. Race number 7 is our feature on the weekend. It's the Eurythmic Stakes, a $100,000 race over 2,150 metres. The natural lead-in is the Diggers Cup. It was won by Maraschino. Second placing, Trap for Fools. Third placing, Come Play With Me.
Has raced away from Cockney Crew. Pike now winds up Maraschino. Trap for Fools under the big weight is trying to go with them in the middle, but Maraschino exploded to the lead. 150 metres to go. He kicks away from Trap for Fools. Come Play With Me is finishing full of running, but Pike is willing Maraschino, and Maraschino home in the Diggers Cup from Trap for Fools.
I think there'll be very few people in the entirety of Australia that won't be tipping one of those 3 horses from the Diggers Cup. I'm going to go with Come Play With Me here because of the horses in this field, he has some of the best exposed wet track form. So hopefully with all the rain that we copped on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there is still that residual give in the track and he can get conditions to suit. He's a heavy 8, 62 kilo winner. So the weight is a tick, the track, anything worse than a 6 is a tick for him. And for him to sprint as well as he did first up on a good 4 off an 1800 metre race, I think he's really come back to racing well here. He's a Group 1 winner. He gets in well at the quality handicap conditions, even though he has to lump that top weight. I think here he can turn the tables on Maraschino with 2 kilos from last start. Number 1 for me, Come Play With Me. No doubt Maraschino's hard to beat here. He's looking to win 4 in a line. Lou Luciani's placed him to perfection, a 72 plus, an Albany Cup, a Diggers Cup, and now a Eurythmic Stakes. Chris Parnham picks up the ride from Willie Pike and has guided him to victory previously. Number 8, Final Chill, who didn't get a lot of luck in the Jericho Cup qualifier down at Albany. And number 2, Trap for Fools. Now, I love this horse, but he is one that we know simply doesn't go on wet tracks. So if it is a soft 6 on the weekend, we push him down the order. My numbers in race number 7, 1, 4, 8 and 2. Race number 8, Canaponics Handicap at a mile. We go back to the midweekers and we'll watch the dominant display of Sentimental Queen.
Warwick right behind them gets a rails runner. Zoyhana shifts off the fence. Divine Quest, it puts in its runners well. They hit the 200. Divine Quest out wide, but Sentimental Queen going better than it. Down on the inside, races through, grabs the front, pulls away. The last is Home and Hose, this winner. Sentimental Queen will absolutely walk in. Sentimental Queen about 3 lengths Divine Quest.
First up, 1400 metres, 60 kilos. She was able to show enough natural gate speed to sit leaders back. And when Zoyhana rolled off the fence there, Lucy Warwick took full advantage. She was never getting beaten once she turned for home. It was a good, strong victory from a mare that looks like she's going to go right through the grades over the Winter Carnival. I think here, she's drawn wide. She'll probably be ridden back. And she probably is a little bit vulnerable here. But she's definitely a mare we're going to follow on the box seat as we head towards Belmont Park. I'm going on top with number 2 here, Caragini Aurora. She finished midfield last week. She backs up off 7 days, she drops in grade, she draws a gate, and she'll get a much better run than what she endured last start. I'm thinking she might even sneak each way here in what looks an each way the field type of race. So if she is that $6 or $7 quote, she's not a bad each way investment here. Number 2, Caragini Aurora. Number 3, Magic Will Rain, got back and hit the line very hard first up, returning to Adam Durant's yard. Number 11, the filly and Piccola Signora. Senior rider goes on. She comes up in grade, but she's been eye-catching her last couple. And then our replay horse in Sentimental Queen. I just had to push her down the order because I don't know where she's going to settle. And it probably is near enough to last. My numbers in race number 8, 2, 3, 11 and 5. Race number 9, Conquer Cystic Fibrosis Handicap over 1500 metres. We're going to watch the last start victory of Creator and the second placing effort of Bruce Almighty.
Bound Creator, Bruce Almighty. They've kicked away together. Sophie Song gets around their heels. 2 lengths to Cocky Joy. Rock on Tommy Nelson's flight. Creator's the leader from Bruce Almighty. Sophie Song on the outside trying to lift, but Creator's in front. Bruce Almighty. Sophie Song coming like Creator. Digs in though. Creator just one from either Bruce Almighty or...
That replay's also Sophie Song in 3rd and the luckless Rock on Tommy back in 6th placing. So a number of horses in this last race at Ascot on Saturday do come from the form reference behind Creator. I'm, however, going to go with the very progressive 3-year-old in Billy Ain't Silly. I think he's one of the better bets on the program on Saturday. I just think that this horse is coming up through the grades at the rate of knots. A Class 1 into a 60-plus 3-year-old handicap, beat the older horses last start and now comes up to a 72-plus. He sneaks in below the minimum after the 2-kilo claim for Lucky Rummeley. He's a horse that's looking to win 4 on the trot. He comes out running, he sets his own speeds. He takes luck out of the equation with the way that he races. And if they allow Billy Ain't Silly to roll to the top, I don't think they'll see him again. He's very hard to beat here, no doubt. Number 11, Billy Ain't Silly. Number 4, Tin Snip, who 2 starts ago ran 3rd behind Billy Ain't Silly and actually makes him worse at the weights. It was a good strong victor last start. And then our Quinella from the replay there. Creator, number 5 and number 12 in Bruce Almighty. My numbers in the lucky last, race number 9, 11, 4, 5 and 12. Best bets at Ascot on Saturday the 8th of May. Race 3, number 2, Flying Missile. And race 9, number 11, Billy Ain't Silly. A pair of shorties, hopefully get us some money on the weekend. And we'll see you again next Wednesday on the box seat.